A certain VFX channel is now under a little bit of hot water after a recent video of theirs hasn't gotten the reception that other videos of theirs normally get. So, Corridor is this channel that has been around on YouTube for, pretty much since the site's inception. They have this one really popular video where it's basically them playing Minecraft in real life. I remember watching it when it first came out, and it was one of the biggest videos. It was actually, probably one of the first viral videos on the site that I actually caught while it was blowing up. They've also made this video that goes around every couple of months where it's like a Boston Dynamics robot that is just getting harassed constantly, and then they give it a gun, and it aims perfectly. It's pretty funny, and it's completely fake. It's totally not real, guys. Don't worry, and none of this is actually real. So, needless to say, it's a very talented group of people who make YouTube videos and content that primarily focus on things like digital effects and filmmaking as a whole, but recently they decided to sort of branch out and try new things. They had this series on their channel that is basically them making something into an anime. They have a series where it's like baseball but anime, fidget spinner anime. It's kind of where they just take the tropes of anime, something that a lot of the people on the team clearly have a big fascination and passion for, and they just put it into some ludicrous situation, like, again, fidget spinners. But their most recent venture into this market has proven a bit weird, as they actually trained an AI to make anime, and the anime that they made is about rock, paper, scissors. If you want to actually watch the original video, I kind of recommend you do, because at the end of the day, it is a very cool showing of just what AI has a potential for, but in the video itself, you can see there's a lot of these flaws. There's a lot of moments where the AI is clearly struggling to render what I think they actually wanted it to, and despite a bunch of post-processing effects and cleaning up that they did do, on a 7-minute video, there is quite a lot that you'd need to actually go back and scrub, and if you're trying to speed up the process of making animation, but the AI is so broken that you have to reanimate all of the scenes, it kind of defeats the purpose of an AI anime, because you would think that in these industries, the automation of the AI part of it would be the benefit to using AI, but if AI is nowhere near close enough to actually render that process meaningful, well, why don't you just actually learn how to animate yourself and, do this? But people aren't super mad about this specifically, because had this video just come out, people would have done their normal, oh, I hate AI art is ruining the world, it's the worst thing ever. But, with this kind of example, it's just a group of people who said, I want to make anime rock, paper, scissors, and I'm not an artist, I'm not an animator, I'm a VFX artist, so I'm going to use the tools I have available to hone my craft as best I can. So it makes sense why they would want to try this. What doesn't make sense is that they made a behind-the-scenes video, and they started out with a very weird statement.
Let's talk about traditional 2D animation, cartoons. The most creatively liberated medium is also the least democratized. It takes incredibly skilled people drawing every single frame of your movie to make it happen. But I think we came up with a new way to animate, a way to turn reality into a cartoon. And it's one more step towards true creative freedom, where we can easily create anything we want.
What does that even mean? I don't even understand. It's very bizarre, because in one fell swoop, they talk about how art is the least democratized industry, and it's like, my brother in Christ, you make art yourself. You do VFX art. Do you guys not understand what you're saying? The definition of democratize is to just make something accessible to everyone, and you would think that an industry primarily focused on art would kind of be one of the best industries to talk about and how it's already democratized. The fact that, you and me could at any moment just, I've dabbled in 2D art. I dabble in a little bit of it. I'm sure everyone's seen something that they think is really cool and they want to learn how to draw it. And you can. It'll take time. It'll feel pretty shitty. You'll feel pretty miserable because you'll look at someone who's made something absolutely amazing and it'll take you forever to get to that level. But that's part of the satisfaction of sticking to it. Is that process. The fact that you can look back and say, wow, I was terrible at this, and now look at me. I made something truly great that can stand toe-to-toe with these people I respect and admire. Is that not already a democratized industry? Am I crazy? And apparently a lot of other people felt this way, because this tweet would end up sparking quite the discussion, with people saying, are no alarm bells going off for anyone else listening to this, in response to that opening monologue. Something else that's interesting to note is a bunch of people on Twitter have been posting these clips about stuff that is seeming hypocritical in hindsight.
When it comes to like these AI tools, yeah, sure, it makes it easier to like copy people's style. So if somebody just rips off somebody's style, call them out on it. Be like, you ripped that person off. Screw you. Like,
So then we went and we took a bunch of frames from Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is an anime that came out in about...
The fact that a lot of people are talking about how these people are, they made an NFT push at one point. No comment, don't really care. But probably one of my favorite examples is they talked about how for this video, which is pretty much entirely made using AI, right? All of the frames in the anime rock, paper, scissors video are made using AI art. The merch that they sell of it was made by a human.
Hey guys, so we are commemorating the launch of this anime rock, paper, scissors video with an awesome limited edition shirt. It's only available for the next 7 days, available in tee and long sleeve tee. It's super cool. It's designed by humans, designed by humans, designed by humans.
Which is just really weird to hear because it's like they're kind of celebrating. It's like, look, this was made by a real person, guys, buy this. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you just, if you're really that passionate about this anime rock, paper, scissors thing, I assure you that it would have turned out way better had you hired a group of animators. Now, I understand why they didn't, because they wanted to prove this proof of concept, and what they were able to achieve with the tools they had, it's pretty remarkable. But it's not really comparable to anime, I would say. One of my favorite anime of all time, screw it, it is my favorite anime of all time, is an anime called Fooly. It's very nonsensical, the art style changes constantly, and every frame you can feel the animator's intent with every stroke. The art style isn't complicated, but it's the way that the animation is portrayed and the way the characters move, how things actually happen on screen, that makes me love this anime. These very kinetic fight scenes, these very understated moments. My favorite moment of the show is something that isn't even that bombastic. It's an understated moment where two characters are just walking and talking on a bridge. It's kind of like a motif of the show, but every time this scene is like drawn, I just can't help but think, wow, that's so cool. It's like I can feel the emotion from these characters just by how they're interacting with each other. There's no over-the-top dialogue, there's no over-the-top soundtrack, it's just melancholic. One of my other favorite scenes is right after that, where a Game Boy falls out of one of the characters' pockets, and then this montage of a character realizing all these weird things that have been going on around town. It's this character's, like, responsibility. They're the ones who did it. As they light a cigarette, and we focus on that, before this explosion of characters talking over each other in this weird, trippy sequence. The background fades away, and then scenes from other parts of the show keep coming in and out of focus. It's like a really cool, interesting way of portraying how someone's mind is racing at a revelation.
Ends of it from destroying the world. Your only weapon is flame. Matches, lighters, firebombs. Get the weapons, outsmart the firefighters, hide from the police, and torch the city to purge its devils. But you must be careful. You cannot burn everything.
And then it ends. And then we go back to that original mood. Stuff like that is amazing. It's why I love animation as a whole. I just don't think AI is ever going to be at that level to make that. Sure, it can replicate the style of things, which is something that a lot of people were lambasting Corridor for. The art style of their show is stylistically based on another thing. It's some vampire, blood hunter, D, whatever it's called. Something I've never seen. But it looks pretty cool. And at the very least, I think I'm gonna go watch that because of their anime rock, paper, scissors video. Because the few frames that looked really good, I imagine are probably much better animated in the original source, in the original medium. Right? And what's really cool is that I could learn how to draw like Fooly. I could learn how to animate like Fooly. I could do all that. And then eventually I would have that knowledge. I possess the capabilities to do that right now. There are people who have nothing, and yet they can make something incredible. There was this random video I saw one time where it was someone using paper cutouts to make their own little short animations where they would draw a 2D character and then stop motion animate it. I don't even know how to explain it. It just looked really cool. Animation and art and all this stuff, you can do whatever you want with whatever you want. There's no budget you intrinsically need to have. Having a lot more money and having a lot more tools will make it easier, But what's beautiful is that you can just do it with whatever you have. So trying to sit here and preach that art is the least democratized industry is it's so weird. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. But I do understand why there's a lot of pushback from a lot of people online, specifically, obviously the more artistic crowds, because a lot of these people, it just feels wrong what they're saying. It feels like they're so disconnected from the industry that they grew up in. Imagine I just get up here and I just sit here and say that the process of making videos is the least democratized industry, when I am quite literally an example of someone who's been learning how to make videos and slowly getting better at it over time. That just would sound ridiculous. And that's how it reads to people reacting to this information. At the end of the day, AI and technology and all this stuff is going to keep moving forward at terrifying rates. The fact that you can essentially deepfake and vocally synthesize a scenario where Ben Shapiro's dog is peeing and Joe Rogan is getting mad at him about it.
Fucking awful way to tell a story. Didn't you go to fucking Harvard? Oh, bro, your fucking dog pissed on my new carpet.
Don't spook him. He can't do it if you watch.
What the fuck do you mean? Stop.
I think says volumes to how far AI has come in even just the past 5 years, but it has a very long way to go before it can stand toe-to-toe with the process of just making it by hand. One day, as scary as it sounds, it'll probably get there, but that future is a future, and it's not here yet.
Go watch Pooey Pooey, it's amazing, bye.